financial aid. So if anyone's asking, hey, what happens if I drop units? No, no, no. Stay at your 12 units. And if you are planning to absolutely drop, talk to the financial aid office to see what's going to happen. And we can run the numbers for you. Tianti also mentioned that there's loans. Different types of loans are available. Guaranteed student loans. And this is also a shocker for parents. They don't think that their son or daughter can qualify for a loan because they don't have a credit history. You can inform students and parents that a credit history is not required for a guaranteed student loan. The federal government guarantees those loans, so they don't care about the credit history. It's absolutely guaranteed. But, there's a but, there's a type of loan for parents called a plus loan or plus parent loan. That loan depends on credit. Some parents might get it, some parents will not, depending on their credit history. So if it's a student loan, guaranteed, no need to worry. If it's parent plus loan, there's a little bit of variability. Some parents will get it, some parents will not. Also, the lingo is so important. When I talk about financial aid, or any of our administrators upstairs talk about financial aid, when we think about financial aid in our world, it's an umbrella term. It includes loans. It includes work study in addition to the free money. A lot of folks that you're going to come in contact with believe that financial aid only encompasses the free money, the grants and the scholarships. It's important that you let them know that not 100% of the people will qualify for those grants and scholarships. But financial aid is much bigger than that. It also encompasses work study that allows you to work on campus, and loans that you can use to finance your educational experience. And when in doubt, where should you go to get information about your financial aid? AidLink, try that first. Failing that, go straight to the source. Go straight to the source. Huge problem that we have in the world of financial aid is that people get their advice from their cousin Pepe or the next door neighbor, from another student that is equally as confused. It's bad. And there are well-meaning people out there that believe that they're giving you the best advice, but they may not have the accurate information. Always go to the purest source. Always go directly to the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships to get the information. Don't take it from anybody else that has theories and ideas. Hey, that's all fine and dandy, but go straight to the source. Do we have any questions about the financial aid process? Yes?
I know with the parent plus loan, if you get denied, you get like a certain amount of money, right?
Yes.
How much is it?
Let me explain. And again, this is a case by case, so tread these waters very carefully. Be very careful when advising students about this. Tell them to go up to the financial aid office to get their individual answer, but I will give you a general answer. If a parent plus loan is denied, the parents get an email or a letter saying, hey, sorry, credit didn't work out, Burka-durka. 3 options. One option is to repair the credit. In other words, go back to Experian, find out what is the wrong credit on the report. That's an option. Option number 2 is to obtain what's called a cosigner. That means you use a cousin or somebody that you know, and they're going to use their credit on a parent loan for a different person. That can also work. Option number 3 is to do a conversion. For a freshman, the conversion is $4,000. If you go up, it goes up to $4,500 and then eventually to $5,000. Actually, take it back, $7,500 is the max that the conversion can go, but that would be at the junior, senior level status. You're going to be dealing mostly with freshmen, I'm assuming, so just keep that number in mind. The most that we can convert is $4,000 for a freshman. Yes?
But with that 4,000, is that a 4,000 loan, or is that 4,000 handed straight to the
Loan.
parent?
Loan. And it's a very specific type of loan. There are 2 flavors in a direct student loan world. There's a subsidized loan, and then there's an unsubsidized loan. If you hear the word subsidized, that means that the interest on that loan is going to be subsidized by the government. There is no interest while you're in school. If it says unsubsidized, that means that you don't have the subsidy from the government. You will pay interest on that loan while you're in school. So if a Parent Plus loan doesn't go through, yes, we'll bump up your loans, but they're going to be unsubsidized student loans. So they're the types of loans that do gain interest while you're in school. Yes.
If you're eligible for a fee postpayment, when are you supposed to pay off your fees then?
That's an excellent question. That depends on how much financial aid you have. Remember, your aid has to be either equal to tuition, greater than tuition, or within $800 of tuition. So if your aid or your loans plus your grants or scholarships plus grants are within that target, you can get the fee deferment. But later on, cashiers will send you a bill for the remaining portion. Typically, from the feedback that I've received with students, it's a couple of weeks into the semester that they'll find the billing, what the remaining portion is. But you can pretty much do the math yourself. If you have a $3,000 combined scholarship and grant, and you know the tuition is $35.42, just subtract out what you have, and that $542 is what you're going to owe the school. Yes?
So you mentioned for this new FAFSA opening October 1st to use your 2015. So what if you're dependent in 2015, but this next year you're going to be independent from your...
We haven't seen the dependency questions yet on the new one. That's an excellent question. I'm going to assume that, well, how do we mean dependency? How are you defining it?
like, I pay for everything now for this next year.
What else?
That's it.
Okay. This is a question that we get often, like what constitutes dependency? The traditional thing that a lot of people believe, and this used to be true many years ago, is that if you file your taxes independently from your parents, you can become independent, right? Wrong. You can't become independent by filing independent taxes anymore. That used to be the case, but they eliminated that rule. So even if you're paying off everything by yourself, if you're completely independent from your parents, if you don't meet the minimum age requirement, which is 26, I apologize, 24, or if you're not married or have other legal dependents or children, a veteran of the armed forces, if you were not in a legal guardiancy, or if you were not emancipated on or before the age of 18. If you don't meet those yes-no requirements, they will not make you independent. Now, there's a big asterisk on what I just said. There are special circumstances. For example, let's say you're only 18, and you don't meet any of those independent criteria, the yes-no questions. However, let's say you don't have any familial relationships with your parents because of abuse, something really bad happened, like a hard break, disowned, it was like drama, Child Protective Services, I mean, something really bad happened. And it's unreasonable for us to expect that that child will go back to the home to get the parents' information because of what happened. There's an appeal for that. There's an appeal for that. So if it's not reasonable to conclude that you'll ever be able to go back home again because of what happened, talk to us and we can appeal that. Sir?
I just have a question to clarify. Since the deadline, or it starts on October 1st, you said we can use the taxes from the year before. Do you then have to update them once it gets closer to like March and April? No?
Yes.
So then, it's kind of, oh sorry, well, it's kind of piggybacking off of him. So then, would you essentially get somewhat close to the same amount of financial aid that you got in 2015, like for this school year?
It should be similar, but every
Okay.
year the Pell tables, it goes up a little bit, so it actually might be better.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry, I've been given the high sign to close it down, so thank you very much. You've been a wonderful audience.